Parr has a workshop. He has guys working with him. And he was only responsible for the effigy. This is that. So he has done that. Okay. He has done, as we will see, some dye proof. This is the stuff here. You can see it. So you know it's removed. Huh? He has done all of that. You see the lines are, he has done the whole thing between. Okay? And when he was happy with that, okay, so we know that stuff. I don't know if you heard about that stuff. So it's interesting. We only know it from a book of a guy named Reinheimer, a German, obviously, which has done a very nice book in the early 20th century, 02 or 03, which is the collection of all the plate and die proof of all the work. And you have that stuff. Okay? You have that stuff on the book. So, the Colon book is, and the Etudes are mentioning that. Okay? Referring to the same book.
Very important.
Okay? But as far as I know, I have not seen it except on that book.
Very poor as a print. Very
poor.
So it doesn't help.
So it's a reason why it's a myth. I mean,
yeah.
But I just want to show it.
Yeah.
You know, it's
yeah.
It's a myth. So from the die, he has done the matrix. So he has taken it, he's coined the reverse, okay? And he puts the original one in a cabinet, and then don't touch it. And using that, okay? So this is the way it is, so it's the opposite of the first one. And this is hardened. Okay, the first one is not hardened, so it's not put on high temperature and in the water. That one is, you know, when the first one is not. So, that stuff is a provisional one that he has done. It's a private collection, it's not mine. And you know, this is the one which has been done for making the progressive proof. I like it very much. And we have found also cliché of it.
Can you go back? Yeah. You've checked all the details on it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I cannot see it from here. I cannot observe the additional lines properly.
But we have done the job with the measure.
I'm sure.
Many details. And there are some clichés. I don't know how many the happy guy got them. I think he has three. Three clichés. Okay, so copper of it. And with that, he has done this proof. There is one existing in sepia from the same guy, and two existing in black, and I have one. So here, what he has done, Jean-François Prin told me that. Jean-François Prin is one of the most famous experts in Paris. He's probably 75 years now, and he knows all he knows many engravers. His father was an expert, his grandfather was an expert, so he was born in the stamps, and he was knowing a guy named Candon, who was a guy who has made nice stamps of Marianne in the 40, 50, 60 in France. And he was knowing him very well, so he was going in his workshop. And he was telling me, because when I visited, one time I visited him, he was making a die, and I asked him obviously what he was doing. He said, oh, just a second, I will show you what it is. So he said he put his thumb on the ink, he took the dye, he applied the ink on the stuff and printed it. So it's printed on the opposite, because you know this is the dye. And from the dye to the plate you have various stuff which are making it, okay? So it's the opposite. And this is the way we are explaining this one, this progressive one. And here they are the progressive one on paper. That stuff, when you magnifying them, they are so wonderful.
This one, in terms of the aesthetic context,
I prefer that one.
much. It's so different from the final one.
Yeah.
It shows a human there's a melancholy in it. A human being, it's almost the opposite. The final one is a god, an impersonal, and this one is amazingly human. It's like Hermes of Praxiteles, you know.
I prefer that one.
This one is, and I think he was also making a point. By eliminating 3 lines, he changed the whole aesthetic quality of this. Is yes. Yes. Very, very different with very small changes.
You see,
very different. But that is appropriate for what was required. That was what was required.
It's much
but
more.
This one is amazingly beautiful and different.
That one is Germanic. That one is Latin.
Okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
Okay. So let's say we are on the die. So we are on the progressive die. So you know we have done some die, and if you can see, I mean there are 6 of the blue, and that's all. There are only 6 blue existing. Maybe 7.
Yeah, maybe 7.
Maybe 7. Qu'est-ce que je dis moi? What I'm saying on that stuff here. Okay.
You've seen the transparent one, huh? The one that Stavros has. The one Montpellier.
No, I have not seen it in reality.
Get a very quick glimpse of the rear side. You like that? It's amazing. Yes, I mean, this is amazing. This is recto, the whole thing, and this is verso. And this is the other one.
Okay, so this is, you know, so what is interesting here is that we have the die. I don't know why, but he has decided not to correct the die, but to do another one. You know, because this one is existing. Okay, you see?
Yeah.
So, and he put everything apart and restart from scratch, which is, we don't know why, because it was nice, you know, but okay, anyway. So, no, look, I'm saying the wrong things. Look, you know, this is a matrix. This is a matrix.
Okay.
The pearls are not whole, but are, okay, so you have done the matrix, and then you continue with the first one to do the final one. You see what I mean? Okay, so reason why. It's logical. Okay, so that one are interesting. They are really nice. I mean, because when you are magnifying, as I was saying, that part, for an example, the blue and the white very distinguished. You know, it's incredible.
But they're all the same from what I have observed in terms of the actual lines of the engraving. It's the same progressive die. I have not found
those they are coming from the same.
Yes.
I mean, at the same time.
At the same time.
At the same time. Or at the same matrix that he has.
Or at the same matrix.
So this is the final one, which is from another private collection. Okay, so, and this is belonging to the Greek government, in fact, because this is the final one. So you can see here, I mean, I will come back to that just after, but this is the final one, so the one who has been used for coining the cliché on the machine that we have seen at the beginning. Okay, so now it's a little bit complex because we have to be back. You know, it's the reason why it's so complex, these steps. This is the final one. So this one was transformed after 76. But you know, the die he has given to Hulot had 2 holes here to put the value. The way the French stamps were done, the die was that way. The clichés they were putting value, 1 franc, 5 francs. They were coining the cliché, then they were removing the stuff and putting another value. So Hulot received that way. Okay. So here there are about 10 of the black, 6 of the blue, and 13 of the brown. And that one is very nice. I mean, it used to be the Wolfgang Bauer collection. It's not anymore.
Alphonse Bauer, the whole story.
He sold out.
It's Rothschild, Bauer, the whole, the same story as the mock-up. Same.
Okay, you will tell me after. So these are some other brown, okay, with some ink spot. So here, you know, it's
Why is before February?
because that one was done by Barr, you know, to view what was the aspect of the final die. I mean, of the die at the moment he has decided not to change it anymore. You know, at a given time of the process.
Because it wasn't hands.
No, it was still in the Barr hands, you know, and before acknowledging that the job was done and that he has finished, he was making some stuff. And he was also, you know what, it's interesting that he was making some épreuves like an artist, and he was distributing them to his best friend or family or stuff like that. So it's a reason why he has done about 30 of them on very nice paper. He has done in blue, and in blue they are probably more better printed than in the other colors. It's difficult to have a clean black one, you know, they always have something wrong. That one, even that one has a little hole somewhere that we don't see here. So that one is very interesting, but it's unique. As
I'll
you
go
can
out
see-
for a couple of minutes so that I don't have to discuss that particular one.
Wait. So as you can see, that one has a one. So I will wait for Stefan. It's interesting. I found that one 10 years ago. The guys who had it was thinking it was a Sperati proof. But it's not a Sperati proof. It's printed with the French guys who are knowing the exact process that the stamps were done between Bar and Hugo. We are thinking that Hugo has received the coins with the hole. He just tried to print the one. He has done one proof in order to see the way it is. And this was where it was when the Greek came to visit him on the early morning. Okay? And that stuff was in Zachariades collection. Okay?
Which? Zacharias.
Okay, but when they sold the Zachariades collection, as I said, the guys who has done the expertise, they have not seen it, and they put it as a fake. Okay? And when I've seen it, I mean, I was amazed, so I asked all the knowledgeable guys, Stavros, Wolfgang, Blue Basel at that time, Michalis, Teriotis, and so on. And everybody is agreed to say that it's not a fake, it's a real one. But we are only able to make, we are only thinking that it's coming from that. Okay? So you know, because with the galvanoplasty, as I said, the die was with the hole and you were putting the numbers, you were doing the 150 cliché, okay, then we were removing the value, we were putting the 2 and so on and so forth. On the coining method, the numbers were done by looking directly on them, you know. And Lou Basel has done a very nice value. You don't have one of the 100 of each place which is like the exact place, you know. When you take the galvanoplasty one which has been done in 76, and I will show that later, they are just perfect, they are all at the same, you know, because they are coming from the same mother. Okay? So here we have only one. So this is the difference of the two. Lou Basel, late Lou Basel has done a nice description and comparison of them, listing all the differences. So it's interesting. Now the typographic plates. So I speak a lot already about that. You know that, okay? I just want to, so this is what was on the Etude, which is still the only book which is speaking deeply about the plate proof. So about 91 has been listed by the Etude. Some has been discovered since then. Nicolas Zimakos has discovered some of them. I have in my collection several of them which are not on the Etude. Okay, so there are about 100 different plate proof existing for the 7 first value of the Greek stamps.
The first mentioning of those epreuves was done by Nathalie Rondeau.
So, yeah, Nathalie Rondeau was a publisher. He was a philatelist also.
Oh, yeah.
In 64, in one book was the Magasin Pittoresque, and every month was describing the first stamps of different countries. And he has done a very nice description of the Greek one in 64, I think.
64.
Very early. This is, you're right, the first who write it about the stamps. So, now the découpage, the famous découpage. So in typography, you know, is Gutenberg, you know, and in typography you are doing gravures, gravure. There is one process in order to have more black, better shadow, which is when you do a gravure, you are just putting some layers. But not some layers on all the painting, but some layers where you want to have more contact, you know. So what they were doing with the stamps is exactly the same. This is from the French one. Because when Barre sent the plates, he also sent the découpage with them.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. Because not anyone is existing. But you are the specialist of that.
Yeah, I don't know, the different things here with instructions. I don't think the stuff was sent. It was
You
warned.
think so?
All the differences in the provisional stamps were because they were done here in a different way, not cut in the same locations, and with thicker paper, because the paper here was not the same as the one they had available in Paris. And that explains a lot of things regarding, I don't think the stuff was sent. The guy had responsibility. He wanted to print himself. He found the great method of being able to do a brilliant thing with this die, this plate, which did not take anywhere, and this method of decoupage. They didn't give him money for printing. They said, we'll do it ourselves in Greece. He had no interest. He taught Kaleris, he taught Karponis, he showed him how to do it, but he didn't actually send it.
I will read I have.
If you find something, I'm interested, but I don't believe he sent that. There are many reasons. The positions are different.
I don't know.
It's obvious that they're different.
Two things. I think the Greek got the same paper as the Paris printing at the beginning. It was coming from Lacroix, and so there is a list of what exactly is sent. You know,
Okay.
on the letter with the
It's
with
very
the plate,
interesting to be
it's
very
listing
sure.
everything.
I don't think it was his responsibility.
I will check it just to see. So, but this is the French way.
Yeah.
Just a question. Doing such things for the coupage is for how many printings? You have to repeat this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Each
Yes.
plate, each
That's-
plate.
If it is true what you say, we must have the best Athens printings in the beginning.
Yeah, but no,
It was repeated. In 62, it was repeated. After the fail,
Neoclid.
they did it.
Εγώ λέω ότι εάν τα είχαν στείλει στην αρχή, θα έκαναν τα καλύτερα από το
Ναι, δεν τα στείλανε νόμιζα.
Ναι, άμα και αυτό
Δεν
το
τα στείλανε
If
νόμιζα.
even you know what I'm thinking, but I don't want to be sure because but the problem is not to have the découpage or not, is to know how to use it. You know?
How to align it.
Because
But
you know,
also,
it's crazy. Let's imagine what they were doing for each stamps in France. They were taking a sheet of 150.
and
They
cutting
were
in the same position.
stamp by
Yes,
stamp.
stamp by stamp, yes.
And doing that kind of stuff.
That's, yeah,
And
that's what,
making
yes,
it's crazy.
sticking them together. That's why the method of printing and the classification of the large surface heads is based on whether they had to do that stuff before
So-
printing or not.
When I'm
So-
thinking they start with that, but it was as if they were
It stopped in 62. We know when it stopped. We know exactly when it stopped. In the fall of 62.
they were not knowledgeable.
The nearest,
Συγγνώμη, πρέπει να φύγω.
So look at that one.
Από τώρα,
the nearest walk.
No, but the problem is they don't know.
Roman stuff.
Neoclid.
Also from
Neoclid. In France, we were doing books and typography since Gutenberg, since the 15th century. We had people who know how to do it since century. Here, it
That's
was
why
the
you
bloody
have-
Turks,
That's,
okay?
that's
And
why you
30
had
years
the-
after, you don't have the experience of
But
it.
that's why you had these results.
Exactly.
But they found other methods
Oh,
easier to
yeah,
implement.
yeah.
So we have the Spring
Definitely.
62 Greek beauties with the relief and everything. They found another way.
So look at that one. One coussinet impression, we call it coussinet, one stamps. Okay, look how it's made. When you put it in the water, this is what you got. You see the layers? So it's made for correcting the plates.
It's not the brilliance of Barr in Greek stamps. It's not for correcting errors in the plates. It's not for this kind of thing that you're showing us here with the French type of plates which needed a lot of correcting because they were cracked with the other method. In Barr's case, what we have is the design is completed by the decoupage. It was engraved and the plates were made for a certain kind of decoupage to be used. Barr is a genius that did the whole process in his mind, knew exactly how the decoupage should be, and the result is that you can increase the contrast in some parts of the design, like the medallion and the spangles. You have the capability of having a deep blue Paris print of Patras, a 20-letter of Patras, deep blue
Because if you
medallion,
put one letter
and
more-
very beautifully drawn spandrels and shading. So it is the completion of the design, the recipe, the contribution of Barr required it.
But you know, this is not Barr. Barr was not a printer.
Ah.
No, he was not a printer. Barr was not a printer. So you know that stuff, the decoupage is
You think Barr didn't know about the final result after so many years of experience with his father and with everybody else?
Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. You're right. Yeah, he was not a
He
guy.
was a genius.
The guy, he was, but the guy who were making that were on the workshop of the printer. You know, which were making that kind of job, you know, or that kind of stuff.
But this is for France.
No, no.
It's different here. Here, this is a mechanical job that the printer fixes the wrong plate.
True,
In Greece, it's a much more,
but
it's a different use. It's part of the
no,
original
but
inspiration, design.
what you just described is also true for France, which means that you have the decoupage is done for making,
And then you do the other stuff.
and then you do it for getting
So
better
Barr-
contrast.
Look, this is the time of the peak of typography. All the previous experience there, Barr knowing it all and doing this marvel for us. It's a whole package, and it's very critical.
But we have not found any of the coussinet impression for the larger message. That
But
one,
we can see,
that one is
we
the,
can see the lines on the stamps.
yeah, but that one is for the Romanian, because Bach has done the Romanian stamps for Karl Ier, Karl I.
But that is again correction of plates.
Yes, yes, that one is, but it's
But we have a different method of printing here. We have a different method of making the plate here first. So we have a different problem to resolve, different kind of problem. And the lack of rigidity in the plates is found and now confirmed, by the way, from what we have seen this summer, because we've got to the plates. What we have found is confirmation of the reduction of the rigidity of the plates in the later period. Very careful understanding of which part of the 20 lepta plate was less rigid than the other, because we can see signs of the annealing color and the previous colors underneath the cliché on the base of the plate. So by now we have confirmed those articles that I written about the 2 lepta plate and stuff, about the rigidity of the plate. They are now confirmed on the 20 lepta.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see some pieces. This is a nice block of 60 of the 1 lepton black, you know. So these are some of the 1 lepton, you know, different colors, you know, and different way of printings and different paper. These are on pelure. These are nice green 5 lepta here. I love that one in the middle, which is an 80 lepta with the color which is unknown, except that one. You know, so you have nice stuff in the plate proof.
The 2 lepta, blue, the blue 2 lepta is a pretty color also.
I don't have that one. So that one is very interesting. It has been cut here, and unfortunately it has been cut on the top.
The strip of 5, you know, exists. And yeah.
So we know what is right. You know what? You know, here you were making the sheet of stamp of 150. In France, from the beginning, we are making 200, consisting of 2 to 150. Here, what he's saying that he has done an experiment to put one value and one color in the first panel, and the second panel was another value and another color. He's describing that. But
and also the Stanhope, right?
This
is the Stanhope.
It's a new
this
press.
is very critical because it's a different and much more sturdy press from the press used here in Athens, which was Albion.
No, this is an essay that he has done in Paris, you know.
Yeah. With the gum, and it's a very big story. And the inscription. Yeah, let's leave that. Let's leave that.
Okay, so these are the nice stuff that you can cut on plate, you know. Sorry. So this one, obviously. So you know, he was really.
You know, I think he was playing a little bit. He was enjoying himself. He was at the end of the whole thing playing around.
He was a child playing, but you know.
Yes.
You can see nice stuff here. You can see it's reprinted. You know.
He was playing.
You know, so you have wonderful blue. Look at that one. You know.
That stamp exists, you know, without anything at the back, without the other print, but with part of the line, small part of the inscription, because it was from the edge of the sheet. Very confusing, the top right one.
So the 1 lepton and the 2 lepta, you have many different of each of them. The other value, you are very low quantity of the different. So you have nice blue like this one, you know. You have
on the bottom, after the 12 is
Verneuil.
À Paris.
Verneuil, à Paris. This is the inscription of Meyer, which is great.
Is a comma or a dot?
You take the article, I'm asking, I'm giving that, and you know the opus. This is your new one?
Oh, this is a catalog, but it's unpublished yet. It's not.
It's a new one.
It's a lot of stuff. Yes.
So look at the opus. Look, I have done it for the opus article. All the details. You know the opus article is Greece. The book opus.
The opus. Το περιοδικό, το τεύχος του opus. Opus 13.
And look, I have done all the stuff. So you have stuff like that also on polyol paper, which is very nice.
These are the only blocks, the block and the...
The 40 leptal, you can see that he was using really what he has on his hands, you know. And you have the information
το μεγάλο αν κατέβει στην Νότο.
with
Πέσανε ή τους λείπαν τα
Ο Πασινής θα το πάρει, θα έχει τέτοια πράγματα.
Είναι λίγο ασήμαντο αυτό. Πάντως από τέτοια υπόμορφα κάναμε στα διαβάζει. Αυτά τα μαύρα όλα τα
Ό,τι δεν γράφει στην αλληλεγγύη συλλογή είναι δικά
that
του.
one is very nice.
Ό,τι δεν γράφει είναι δικά του.
That one is very nice.
Ή το προηγούμενο με το
You
φουτορό και
can
το
see many of the
ανακοσάρι.
errors.
Δεν το έχω ξαναδεί.
Zero
Το έχω
and
ξαναδεί
12
στην
into
δημοκρασία.
one,
Αλλά δεν
zero.
δύο κομμάτια και υπάρχει και η λωρίδα.
Η λωρίδα αυτή τι, ναι, ναι.
Μια πετάδα.
Ναι, ναι, κατάλαβα.
Another one which is nice, which has been cut, but
It has been reassembled.
I have reassembled them. And then, you know, back we are not in 61 anymore, but we are in 75. So the Greek government has to do the two value of the UPU, I mean the Union Générale des Postes, UP first, and they write to Bar and they ask him, could you do the same that you have done 50 years ago? And Bar said yes, but why not sending me back the die? Because he shipped the die to Athens. Okay, the Greek answer, and they said, we don't find it. Okay, Bar said, there is a letter saying, a second letter, I sent that to you in September. So, and finally, 3 months after, the Greek guys here find it and send it back to Bar. But we were 15 years after. In the meantime, Hulot has been fired. Okay, in 66. Galvanoplasty were not anymore a monopoly, and few printers in Paris were using that. So he has taken the die. Okay, he has done the whole again. He put the value here, and he has done some process, some die proof. And the plate has been done that time with the galvanic method. Okay, and by a guy named Charles Deret.
Then later, yeah.
Okay, so we use the slab, as I said, and there has been printed by another guy named Clay and Co. in Paris. And here we have the invoice of the two. Okay, you have the invoice of the two. Huh? So it's very clear. That time, as you can see in the museum, the plates are consisting of 2 Galvano of 100 each. Huh? They are visible this is the picture I have taken 12 years ago. Okay, so this was, I don't know which value it is, but we can see it. So that is interesting. This was part of the Bar archive. But this is, you know, at the beginning, in France, at the beginning they were making the Galvano of 100 on one shot. Okay, but when they had a problem, they were rushed to buy another one. So they decided to do what they call galvanoplasty tip, which were making that stuff and using that stuff to duplicate other and to assemble 10 of them. Okay, the plates in 76 has been done that way. This is one Galvano from the 30 lepta, which was either a spare part that Bar has done, or one stuff which were not done correctly, but it was in the archive of Bar. So very few play proof. I mean, you know, only 7 on the 30 and 2 only on the 62. And by the way, what is interesting is that on the letter he sent when he shipped the 30 and the 60, he's speaking about essay, not about stem, but about essay for the stuff. So he has done only 15,000 of each. So there are some of the play proof of the 30. You know, this is an imprimatur of the 30, and this is the only one known for the 60, which is in fact a stem by itself. You know, no essay. I have that stuff that I got also from the archive, so it's some things that I have not been able to read, except Albert Barr, Français here, but I don't know what it's written, you know, it was as part of his archive. I have not been able to read it. And then he has also done, at the same time, the Greek government asked him to do carte de correspondance, or postal stationery. Okay, so what he has done, he has taken the medallion of the Lord Hermes head, and I mean, first he has done the pre-project. So he took the French text, you know, and here he put hélas, here he put delta. You know, he has drawn with a pencil some of the stuff. So it's a nice, unique. It was part of the Velas collection, which has been sold by Roumet 5 years ago or 4 years ago. And this is a pre-project. It's a pre-project, and he has done a mooker. That time it's the other way around. He took a plain proof of the large Hermes head, he cut it, and he has drawn that, I mean the frame with China ink, you know. And you can see here, it's interesting because he's correct, he tried to correct the eye probably. Okay? And here it's written fond azuré clair, you know, and the lepta here. So obviously it's a mooker, so it's a unique item, also coming from Ulysse Velas. And obviously he has done some dye proof. Only two of them are done, because there's a black and there is a greenish one. Okay? How many of them are done? Only 2 of each.
There is a greenish of the 60 letter also.
Also? Well, okay, so, right. So, to finish the story, later in 78, Barr received a letter, and that time he got La Croix du Commandeur de l'Ordre, which is the highest. Okay, so he was very well done. So one word on Barr. This is Mr. Barr. He was born in Paris and died in Paris at 60. He has done l'École des Beaux-Arts. Okay, he was chief engraver. And I have not spoken about the chief engraver position, but it's a very important position, which has been introduced by Henry II on the 14th century. And this guy was responsible to do the money. So he was very, very important person. He was after his father, who was on the first French tent, and before his highest brother, Auguste, which were not an artist, he was a sculptor, maybe. So he has engraved the Présidence and the Empire, but not the Republic. The Republic is a Dimitra, the Présidence is a Napoleon, and the Empire is a Napoleon Lauré. Okay? He has engraved also a nice stamp, exactly the same way as the Greek one, by the way. I have not spoken about that, but the egg one. He has engraved all the medals of and the coins of the Empire and the Republic from 58 to 60. He has created the direct shrinking method for the plates, and he also engraved the first Guatemala and Romanians and Greek, obviously, stamp. So you know I'm asking a question. Yes. Who has connection with Zelda? Why the Greek post is not making a stamp with the effigy of Barr?
Who knows?
Stephanos, what do you think?
You must be joking. This is Greek. These guys, nobody cares about any of that essential stuff in this country.
Okay, so
what are you talking about?
I have done
It's a joke. They made this brilliant idea of the most beautiful stamp in typography. They decided to make it into a gravé kind of reverse crazy whatever. And the guy who did that came in this room and gave us a lecture.
Okay, so some reference. Okay, obviously there are so many, okay, from many people. Stefano is the last one,
Easy.
obviously. And some articles are written on the subject in some different stuff, you know. some website. So the new website is back again, you know. Okay, it's an archive one, but you can find the stuff. Okay, I have, it's much more for beginners, but I have written a Wikipedia.
That you should give us in a little note, printed note.
And here is obviously the site here, the site of Netherlands. I mean, and I'm just putting some stuff. Okay, so this is finished. It was long, I'm sorry. So something I have not said, but it's important, that we have discovered with Michel Chauvet, with the Engels. We were always asking, how is this guy, by making engraving on the pine,